evening cleanup operations taking place in the city of Tshwane. Zola Sholwana is on the ground for us tonight. There are 10 waste removal trucks that are out there collecting refuse in the Tshwane CBD. The mayor is on the ground and some officials, including some workers who've joined the operation tonight. Zola, what is the latest as far as that cleanup operation?
Well, Thabo, we are actually in the CBD right now. The mayor has started leading the cleanup, basically showing us what most municipal workers usually do on a daily basis. We were told that residents of the city were complaining that, waste hasn't been collected in most parts of the city, meaning that the city is actually dirty. So let me bring you in. Obviously, this is a response to residents complaining that the city is actually, dirty, considering the fact that waste hasn't been collected in some parts.
Yeah, definitely. And what we saw with the strike is that the inner city was purposefully trashed. And what we can see here, it's an illegal dumping site. And unfortunately, when waste is set alight, like it's clearly been here, and then fanned by wind, it's almost impossible to move it. You can't move stuff that's burning. But it is very important that we clean up the inner city in particular. There's a psychological impact, I believe, on employees. Most of them come to the inner city to work, and on our residents. We've got the High Court here. We've got important government buildings here, and I think this is a very important project for us.
How long will you be doing this cleanup? Is it particularly for today, or it's something that will continue until the matter is settled?
So we've allocated additional resources to clean up the inner city after the strike and the trashing of the streets. But there is a Tshwane inner city cleanup team that does this every night. So the folks that I'm working with here are folks that do it every night. And it's just additional resources. Unfortunately, because of the violence and intimidation that has come with the strike, they couldn't do their work for a prolonged period of time. And that's why the inner city was in such a bad state. But it's so very important, despite the labor dispute still being ongoing, that we clean out the inner city and make sure that it's as livable as possible for our people.
Now, we see some of the workers that are here on the ground are covered up with masks, and I believe that is obviously a reason because they fear for their lives, that they could possibly be threatened by those who have decided to go on strike.
Yes, I think the masks are two purposes. Because you work with waste, it's a hygiene factor. But indeed, people fear being intimidated. We see threats being directed at officials to say, we know where you live. Sometimes those threats are credible, in other instances they aren't. But it's a type of environment that makes it very difficult for folks who want to work, who want to serve their communities, to actually do that work.
Now, the incident that transpired earlier on was actually a sign that, some SAMU-affiliated municipal workers are not willing to back down, and so is the city.
I think that the strike has been hijacked by organized crime. I think there are political and economic considerations that drive the strike now. I don't think it's in the hands of any one union faction or leader. And that's why we've made the point it's no longer a labor dispute. It's an issue of the rule of law. And earlier, before I came here, I spoke to the Minister of Police, and I said to him that we really need top-class crime intelligence to intercept calls and messages to see who's planning this. Because we've seen the attacks on the waste trucks, the attacks on vehicles. It's very well coordinated. It is tactical. Folks plan it in advance. They've got inside information about the city. And it's only until we arrest the folks that are driving this that we'll, we won't be able to stabilize the situation until then.
Thank you so much, Executive Mayor, for your time. Now, Thabo, this is one of the areas that, that are being cleaned currently. We are told that they'll be cleaning other areas as well. More than 20 trucks have been dispatched in the CBD of the city of Tshwane to be collecting waste, because we are told that residents were complaining that the state of the city indeed needs some attention, from government. As a result, they've responded by starting this cleanup. We are told that that some municipal workers are on the ground. They are reporting to work, but obviously because of intimidation and threats, they fear for their lives, and they have asked to be escorted by security personnel when they are conducting such operations until the dust settles.
All right, Zola Sholwana, thank you tonight for that update.